Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is happy and healthy and doing well and getting a chance to get out there. So yeah, in this video I wanted to talk about actually a very important paper written a little while back by a group of Stanford researchers that focuses on blood glucose variability. And I think it's, as they mention, an often ignored topic. We tend to focus maybe on the level of glucose, but we don't think too much about the variability of it. And it turns out that the variability is actually quite important, both for people with diabetes and people who are healthy. And so what they did in this paper is that they enrolled a number of volunteers, I believe 57. All of them were healthy, or at least presumed healthy without diabetes. And they equipped them with continuous glucose monitors and collected some 500,000 data points. And so having collected the data, they then conducted various statistical analysis, which ended up creating 3 different groups based on blood glucose responses. And we're talking about not only the level of blood glucose here, but also things like rate of change and magnitude of change and magnitude of the fluctuations. And so they came up with 3 groups of people, high, medium, and low glucose variability. And then, having created these 3 groups, they tested them for a variety of other clinical measures, whether it's fasting insulin or insulin secretion or triglycerides or fasting blood glucose, and a few other ones that you can see on the graphic here to validate that there were in fact distinct groups and that the responses were in fact different. And finally, as a third step, they gave them 3 standardized meals to eat. One was milk and cereal, another one was a protein bar, and a piece of bread with peanut butter. And these were sort of standardized meals that were given to these people for breakfast to sort of reduce the impact of any preceding meals. And once again, an interesting result, not surprising. Some 60% of people had severe variability, blood glucose variability based on sort of milk and cereal. We know that's not one of the best of foods that we can eat. The ProBar and ProBar protein bar and the bread and peanut butter elicited somewhat more varied responses, but once again, very much aligned with the 3 glucotypes of high, medium, and low blood glucose variability. And so the conclusion of the paper, in essence, is twofold. First of all, high glycemic variability is potentially an interesting sign to keep track of because it might be a precursor, obviously, to prediabetes and may therefore make people aware to the fact that they're sort of on that path and may need to do something about it to prevent ending up with prediabetes and then type 2 diabetes. And there are obviously interventions that can be used to make that happen, both dietary, exercise, and other things like that. The other thing that they did is they also actually developed a web-based tool that is publicly available to everybody at the Stanford website, and I will include the link to it in the description below, to which anyone who chooses to can download their continuous glucose monitoring data in a specific format, and it will analyze it for you and determine your glucotype for you, which obviously can be very useful for anyone who has access to a continuous glucose monitor to collect the data. So hopefully you found this interesting and useful, and yeah, be well, and we'll talk to you soon. Take good care. Bye-bye.